One of the biggest questions regarding Payday 3, even before the game's launch, was what heist will return. In Payday 2, every heist from the previous game, Payday the Heist, were all added to the game, all with slight tweaks and new additions made to them. Naturally, people were going to be curious as to what heist could possibly be returning for Payday 3, as it would definitely be fun to revisit some of the most iconic heists that the series has to offer with some reimagining done to them. We've already seen two heists from Payday 2 return, Cook-Off and Murky Station. These two heists came at a very strange point for Payday 3, being the first content drop for the game 2 months after its launch, as well as being part of the second update the game received as a whole. Yeah, those were some real dark times. The reception towards these two heists were generally positive. Whether or not this had to do with the fact that the game was in a very dire state is an entirely different question, but the reception was positive nonetheless. Recently though, there's been a push in the community for a certain heist to return, and if you've been keeping your eyes on the community, or just read the title or thumbnail, you already know what heist I'm talking about. That of course, is Panic Room. I initially joined in on the bandwagon as it was just a funny inside joke, similar to that of Boys in Blue and how it was cancelling weekend plans left, right and centre. However, as I started to actually think about it, and I mean really think about it, I realised that Panic Room really should return for Payday 3, and I'm not even joking. I think a good place to start is just to go over what Panic Room is, just for those who are new to the series and haven't played Payday the Heist or Payday 2. Panic Room has the Payday gang going after, you guessed it, a panic room filled with cash inside a block of flats. They saw it loose, blow a hole open in the building, Bar lifts it out, and they escape. In my opinion, it's a very solid heist, as there's a very natural flow of progression with the objectives. First you get the souls running, hold out while they're going, get up to the roof, clear the roof of snipers, plant C4, run downstairs, clear the roof again, attach the magnet, clear the roof once more, and then make a break for the sewers beneath the building. Saying it out loud, I realize that there's a lot of clearing and holding out, but it works in the heist in such a way that it never really feels like you're waiting on an arbitrary condition to be met, more just like you're getting to kill things while Bar does his thing. If it were to be adapted into Payday 3 though, I could definitely see some tweaks being made, like the order of taking out snipers and just clearing out the roof being random, as well as having different methods to loosen up the panic room, like thermite for example. What's also important is that Panic Room has a level of spectacle that I think we've been sorely missing out on in Payday 3. We've seen a valiant attempt to try and get spectacle back in the DLC heists with blowing up walls, breaking through skylights, using shipping crates to run across rooftops, but these are usually small sections, and not the entire heist itself revolving around something grandiose in scale. Panic Room would be a great step in the right direction in this regard, as it's easily one of the most absurd and over-the-top heists the series has ever seen. Panic Room is also just a very nicely designed heist in terms of its layout. There's very clearly defined choke points, as well as a variety of different routes you can take to move around the building and the roof, so you never really feel like you're stuck in one place despite the close quarters nature of the heist. The roof is also a very interesting spot from a design perspective, as there's two ways you can play around it, either camping and just trying to hold it, or being really aggressive and keeping it completely clear of cops. There's a very palpable difference between playing it poorly and playing it greatly, and it feels very rewarding if you're able to keep up and keep the roof completely clear. Every weapon type also gets a chance to shine on the heist. Although it seems at first glance that close-range weapons like shotguns and SMGs dominate, when you get up onto the roof, long-range weapons are quite useful, as you're able to kill cops before they actually get onto the roof. It's pretty cool, as it gives a chance for every weapon type to shine, all without any of them feeling like they're a bad pick. Obviously though, as much as I love Panic Room and will sing its praises for days, I do understand that there are some very good reasons as to why people wouldn't want Starbreeze to add back Panic Room. For starters, Panic Room isn't really a popular heist, much less is it a popular one from Payday the Heist. If they were going to add a heist from Payday the Heist, I can't exactly imagine Panic Room being the first choice when First World Bank is literally there, the heist that started the series and is easily the most popular heist from Payday the Heist, and arguably in the entire series. It'd also be a little overkill if Starbreeze were to add any of the Payday the Heist heists to Payday 3, as it'd be the third time any of them would be playable. It's also worth looking at things in the big picture, as at this point, Payday 3 really should be focusing on creating new content, rather than trying to recycle old heists. After all, if people are really wanting to play Panic Room, or any other heist from Payday the Heist and Payday 2 for that matter, they still have those two games they can go back to. For people wanting new and unique heists though, there's not too many in Payday 3's repertoire as it currently stands, and there's still definitely a lot of concepts and ideas that could be used for future heists. That's about it though. What do you think of Panic Room? Do you think it should return, or do you want other heists to be added? Or do you think the focus should be on new and original heists? I'd love to know what you think, so feel free to drop a comment about it down below. As usual though, I've been Cookie Dough, and have a good one.